My blissful God listeners, after this discourse, King Rishabdev observed for many years that his citizens, his ministers and his sons are all doing well according to his education. Then he called Bharat, the eldest son, and coronated. He made him emperor and renounced. He absorbed the sacrificial fire into himself and threw away his royal garments and wore a dress of mendicant and traveled around the world. And he shared his wisdom through his own eccentric way, my dear friends. Let that remain a secret. As Plato's concept of philosopher king, Emperor Bharat was tall, majestic, very deeply a philosopher. He provided vast scope of opportunities for his subjects to grow and prosper materially as well as spiritually. Every day he honored Bhagavan Vasudev through yajna and kratu sacrifices with big sacred rites such as Agnihotra and Darshan, Purnamas, Chaturmas, Pashusom, with cooperation of Hota, Advaryu, Udgata and Brahma. Every time he offered his virtue and merits to Bhagavan Vasudev, at the completion of his yajna, Agni Yoga, he used to donate profusely. He married with Panchajani, the daughter of Vishwarup, and 5 great sons were born. Sumati and Rashtraprit and Sudarshan and Avaran and Dhammaket. They all adored their father as God and served him with all their skills. King Bharat governed the state for 10,000 years, more than 10,000 years. He was so glorious and powerful that from his time our world became known as Bharatvarsh, the universe illuminated by glories of King Bharat. Okay? The Bha means intuition and Rat means life dedication, where life of people is dedicated to develop intuition, that is Bharat. So, my dear friends, King Bharat ruled for many, many years, and by then the store of merits which gave him royal fortune exhausted. His heart was then thoroughly purified, and there arose loving devotion which grew exceptionally intense every day. There then, in the space of his heart, Bhagavan Vasudev began to shine and dazzle and expand brightly as the inner illumination, as the inner illuminator and inner organizer. In order to unfold and polish and shine this transcendental encounterment, means in transcendental darshan, more profoundly, King Bharat coronated his sons on thrones of his hereditary fortune, dividing it in 5 continents proportionately. Then he went to the grove near Sage Pula Hermitage in the bank of Chakra Nadi or Gandaki river. Now it is known as Harihar Kshetra. Still sacred circular stones symbolic to Bhagavan Vishnu marked with discus are found rolling in the riverbed. Bhagavan there reveals himself in desired form of his devotees. Okay, even today, to this day, and it is known as Shalagram. Royal sage Bharat worshipped the Lord Bhagavan Vasudeva through flowers, basal leaves and bulbs and roots and fruits in that grove. He enjoyed all day long beauty of nature from all angles, introspected, contemplated, studied and developed great tranquility. His heart melted and thrilled by exceptionally increasing love for Bhagavan Vasudeva. His long, silky, dark hair turned brown and matted by 3 daily baths and ablutions in the river. He waited upon every morning. As the sun rose crimson in the eastern horizon, he sang a song which means Paro Raja Saviturjata Vedo Devasya Bhargo Manasedam Jajana Sureta Sada Punaravishya Chaste Hansam Gridranam Ripadringhiramima. As the sun rose crimson in the eastern horizon, he sang aloud, "Here comes the golden dawn of my life, the condensed light of enlightenment beyond the ever-changing phenomenal flux, coming up to bestow upon me the living reward of my renunciation. Oh, isn't him from whom this universe, entire universe emerges, evolves and submerges in, isn't this the reservoir of power, wisdom and bliss eternal? Oh, I resort to this effulgent light of eternal life." This is how Royal Sage Bharat started his day. Now, dear friends, listen to an interesting story. One day, after bath, completing his daily duties, he was sitting on the river bank whispering Om. A thirsty, pregnant dove came. While she was drinking water, a loud roar of an approaching lion struck her heart with a fatal blow of terror. Terribly bewildered and scared, she just leaped across the stream. Unfortunately, the fetus slipped from her womb and fell into the stream. Afflicted with long leave, premature delivery, fear as well as strayed from its troop, the dove fell in a nearby bush and died. Seeing the helpless baby deer being swept away by the current, the royal sage was moved with compassion. He jumped into the water. He swam and picked it up and brought it to the hermitage. To that motherless, lonely, lost, helpless baby deer, the sage Bharat nourished, protecting it from wolves and violent animals, caressing it and humoring it, scratching and stroking its body became included in his daily duties. Out of kindness, he worried about it. Consequently, his spiritual practice was greatly damaged. They were neglected and abandoned in a few months. When he went to pick up kusha fruits, leaves, fruits, roots or water, that baby deer accompanied him. When, due to innocence, it got stuck up on the wayside, he picked it in his lap or bore it on his shoulder with overflowing affection. Doing so, he would feel great felicity. Even during his yogic practices, he would rise at frequent intervals to have a look at it. When it was all fine, he felt weightless and said, "May you be safe on all sides, my darling little dear baby." Many times when he did not see his pet, he would feel extremely perturbed and like all wealth lost miser, sorrowing all lost miser, he would exclaim, "Oh, will that helpless baby of dead mother ever return to my ashram? I will ever see it again? Will I ever see it again? Shall I ever see it once more, grazing tender leaves of grass in the grove of my hermitage? Have I done enough noble deeds to be able to see? Is my hermitage fortunate enough to feast that baby deer once more? Or may it not be that a wolf or a dog or a beast devour it? Lo, the sun is setting, but my dove is not returning to me. Will that prince of mine come back and delight my eyes and soul? What a beautiful golden moments those were when I closed my eyes for meditation, and it would approach me agitated and feeling left out, indignant through love, would strike me with tip of its little soft horns and as soft as a drop of water. When I had brought kusha grass for yajna and he touched it with his mouth, polluted it, then I scolded. It had become much frightened and abandoning its playfulness, sat like a baby hermit with utmost calmness. Oh, what great meditation the Mother Earth has performed to have prints of the tiny soft hoofs of that docile baby of that black antelope, announcing its sanctity for Kundalini awakeners to come, settle up and integrate. By now the moon has arisen and Bharat logged up and sat staring at the darkest spot in the middle. Thanks, O moon god, you are indeed very kind to the suffering beings. You are protecting my dead motherless baby dear for me. It's not this soothing coolness of moonbeam and fragrant breeze oozing out and blowing around from the mouth of my dove, from the very core of its heart where great love for me dwells always. Thus that royal sage Bharat, who had renounced the empire of the whole world to attain a realization of grace of Bhagavan Vasudeva, and on whose name this entire civilized land is known as Bharatvarsha, went straight from his adopted path leading to his supreme goal of life. His worship, his meditation, his laudable goal, all were devoured by his own evil destiny appearing in the form of that baby deer. It is not that the deer came only to that royal sage. That evil destiny has indeed come in the life of us all, in the form of attachment with people who don't let you have time to complete your meditation, to complete your worship and prayers, and who rebuke and prohibit you doing good deeds, noble deeds. Those of your friends, wife, husband, kinsmen, parents, boss, who say, what love, what bond do you have with us if you go on doing your yoga beads, your kirtan, your bhajan? When we have come to you, drop that silliness and look at us, talk to us, have some refreshment, sip of little whiskey, and let's go and play merrymaking, sightseeing. While the royal sage was lost in goal and the path, oblivion and obsession of longing to see, to nourish, to protect, to humor and care that baby antelope, his hour of death arrived, my dear. Even as cobra runs up to the hope of a rat, Bharat was lying on his deathbed and continuing even at that time to look intently on that deer that was lamenting like a real son by his side. He died. Then, my dear friend, what happened? He was born in Mount Kalinger as a deer in next life. The memory of his former life remained. He repented bitterly. Oh, how pity, how painful that I felt nearing so close to ultimate success, to realize Bhagavan Vasudeva I missed. Strong-willed I was. I had risen above all attachments to royal pleasures. I had chosen the most powerful spot. My time, my every hour was to be diligently utilized. But what a stupidity! My mind slipped into time for that baby deer with a repeated remorse. Completely disgusted, Bharat left its dear mother. He came back to Harihar Kshetra, Pulastya or Pulahashram, and near Muktinath. He lived there where he lived before as sage Bharat. He remembered those days, remembrances continued, remorse, repent, disgust went on. He was terribly afraid of attachment. He lived alone, surviving on leaves and grass and shrubs and waiting exhaustion of the pile of karmas responsible for his dove birth. He knew the arrival of death and partly laid in the water of Gandaki river he left his dear body. Everybody must learn, my dear friends, to never try to commit suicide, must not be calling for death by thinking about leaving the body. The body image may stay on your mind and you will get similar body next life with the same problems and troubles. For the third time, Bharat was born in a Brahmin family who already had 9 sons and 1 daughter and lost. 11th was Bharat himself. My dear friends, apprehending his fall through attachment in former life, now Bharat showed himself as weird and crazy and funny and cool, while clasping Bhagavan Vasudeva hard in his ambrosial embrace within his heart. The father loved this child the most. He did all